Hi, this is Susanna Rinderly, and I wanted to tell you a story about how and why we need to do diversity and how it gets us better results. A new colleague told me a story this morning at breakfast. This is a gentleman who was in the Vietnam War, so he's a baby boomer age-wise, ex-military, and was telling me about how they were 800 or something miles off the coast of Guam in the middle of nowhere. And when you're in the military, having an effective team is key, not just to what you're trying to do, like most organizations, but literally to surviving. And because you can't rely on anybody else, and the stakes are so high, especially during a time of war. And a fire broke out in the boiler room. And this, of course, was very problematic because not only are you in this metal, floating ship and nowhere to go, but this, puts your operation at jeopardy, can kill people. And he said it was so hot, and I'm not sure what his rank was, but that the fire was so hot that you could see the metal breathing, coming out of the boiler room, just red metal, almost like a movie, and rivets would start to pop off. And there was they brought together a group of people, men, to figure out what are we going to do, because we can't wait to get to shore. We've got to figure out what to do with this fire. But the ways to put it out, potentially we're going to create more danger. So, if we try to put it out with water, with a direct stream of water, the change in temperature will basically make it explode or create shrapnel. And how are we going to get out of the way while we do that? What different methods do we have to cool it or to put it out? What are the potential downsides? And, and there's a time factor. We need to do this quickly because the stakes are so high. The person that ended up coming up with the solution, again, this was a diverse group of military folks, was a cook from Alabama. Now, he happened to be African American, but that's probably less important than the fact that he was a cook. And he said, well, I think I have a solution. So I've, been a cook, and we do a lot of barbecue, and we're around heat, and we're around grease and all these different types of situations in the kitchen. And if you actually spray water on the items surrounding the fire, that will cool the temperature down enough to where you can put the fire out and the fire will die down. So just spraying a mist, not a direct stream, but a mist in the general area can have it come down. That's what they did, and that's what worked. That's what put the fire out. And so while in your organization you may not have boiler fires, and you may not be 800 miles from shore, and you may not have as high stakes as people's lives and military operations, but you do have goals and you do have teams. And this is a great example of how the more diverse a group you have, the bigger brain you have. And economists like Scotty Page have shown that diverse groups outperform non-diverse groups and individuals when it comes to prediction and problem solving and innovation, because of things like this. That because of that cook's experience working in the kitchen, he was able to think of a solution that the other military men and officers could never have thought of, not because they weren't well-intended enough or smart enough, but because they just simply didn't have the experience to even think of that as an option. So that's just a little tip to get you thinking about how diversity actually gets us better results, and how diversity works, and why it's a must-have, even though our brains are not designed to communicate effectively across differences. This is why it's important to develop those leadership and communication skills to enable us to do that anyway, because it's all about meaningful results. If you'd like to learn more, please contact me. Would love to talk with you, hear how you'd like to either solve a pressing problem in your workplace or go from good to great. You can also sign up on my website for my free guide, and let's chat and get you to brilliance and excellence. Because remember, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that you're not alone, and that a lot of organizations and leaders are trying to figure this out. But the good news is also that you're not alone, and there are answers. Thank you so much. Talk to you next time.